One of the beautiful things about the tarot is that it not only acts as a clarifier for your life experiences, but it also creates an opportunity for us to infuse more energy, more light, more whatever you need into your situation. So when sitting down here to talk to Spirit, I got a very clear message here about what the core of our message today is going to be. The first card to come up was the Page of Cups. And when I asked, well, what is this page pouring his energy into? You know, what area of life are we really opening ourselves up to like this? And I got the King of Cups. And this is perfect, you guys, because I have my Divine Masculine Healing Oracle on hand for us to use today, which we absolutely will. At the bottom of the deck, you can see we have the Ace of Cups. Here is what our Page of Cups looks like. And here is who he is interested in, the King of Cups. So of course this feels like this could be a new a new opening of a relationship between you and somebody else, somebody who is already very emotionally mature, or somebody who has a lot of compassion in their heart, somebody who is very spiritual or very mystical. They could also, to you, because of this Cups and Cups relationship here, they could also be a little bit foreign to you or like just new to you. Their energy could just be new to you and somewhat mysterious to you as well. So the King of Cups could represent somebody who's kind of being shrouded in mystery that you are curiously trying to advance towards, or curiously trying to know more about, trying to understand more about, because this tickles your heart in a particular way. So if it is not another person for you as well, my dears, the King of Cups could just represent an aspect of your life, that an area of your life that is kind of ruled over by your higher self in some way. This is like potentially seeking guidance or counsel from your higher self in meditation, or from guardians and guides who watch over you and who protect you from spirit, or just, you know, not protect you from spirit, excuse me, but this could be guardian and guides from spirit and you looking for spirit here. Because if we're talking about the King of Cups as an area of life, this would be where you find the most spiritual harmony, where you can take authority with your art, where you take authority with your heart as well, with your healing, and where you take authority with the softening, with the feminine, with your ability to soften, and all of the, you know, arcane arts and mystical healing arts exist in that frame. It's where we lend our ear and our intuition to the unseen, to the subtle, things like that. So this is going to be the core of our message today. The first thing that I want to do is to get a representation of, and the Emperor just keeps showing itself. So the Emperor is going to stay out here because he just keeps wanting to make himself seen, so we'll keep you out. But what we're going to do is get a representation card from this guy, Divine Masculine Healing Oracle, for the King of Cups. Who's this Divine Masculine? Also, when I sat down to meditate on this, I sat down in front of a big clear quartz, and immediately when I first sat down, I got very briefly a whiff of cigarette smoke. Could be a confirmation for one of you, some of you. And I was seeing water as soon as we sat down. I was seeing potent clarity. Oh, look at this. This is beautiful. Talk about spirit. We have Dakan. And I will read from this card, but seeing the sky, the rainbow, the water. That is a really beautiful symbol to me. This is very aligned with the King of Cups here, and we have Yeshua, who I believe is actually Jesus. More what looks like water here as well. Whoa. Okay, so with Dakan, this is our divine masculine here. Look to your family's history for clues to guide you toward areas that need healing, breaking generational curses by changing patterns, ways of thinking, and behaviors. All right, so Dakan is an ancestral spirit. Ancestors' spirits emerge from the sky, the ocean, and the earth in many forms to create all life, living still as facets of nature, representing the interrelation of all things. So there's that like spirit energy with this. Dagan continues to live in deep water holes and presents himself as a gigantic serpent with the tail of a big fish. When he travels from one water hole to another, he emerges from the hole he dwells in and moves through the sky in the form of a rainbow before flowing into the next hole. That is interesting. Interesting. Well, let's see what his message is. So we're speaking about ancestral trauma. Honoring your ancestors can look like harnessing the gifts they've left for you, retrieve the rich history, strength, and resilience of those who have forged the path that led to your existence. Ancestral healing occurs by feeling the pain passed down without being addressed thus far. I'm not sure if that sentence makes sense. Look to your family's past and review the beliefs, behaviors, and types of relationships that repeat themselves to see patterns you can actively break. Being a cycle breaker is not an easy task. You may be viewed as disrespectful descendant by facing up to the family's shadow. Interesting. Honor those who came before you by soaking in their wisdom and changing what they couldn't. Provide for those who come after you and produce new paradigms so they can lead a gentler path ahead. So what area of life this could be? You actively doing the magical work, you actively doing that ancestral work, or just like, I feel like this is cellular work. When you're talking about ancestral work, you are talking about like rewriting your DNA. You are talking about healing your nervous system, healing your human experience, essentially. So the Ace of Cups could be also representing, just for you, this general message, a very beautiful welcoming into this new frame of healing, one that involves more actively understanding your ancestral lineage. And for a lot of us too, that doesn't mean like looking specifically at our family tree for the past 10 generations, but understanding that you have evolved from the sea, and even before that you are in evolution. I want you guys to think about the fact that the earth was created through chaos. There were no humans, there was no sentient life besides chaos, besides energy moving. And I consider that to be intelligence to some degree. I consider intelligence to be energy, movement, and memory all combined and working in one. And so the fact that the earth was created out of as a memory of that action, as a memory of that chaos, and continued to have these evolving processes that have such developed life and us and this art that we are, and this art that we develop. That is beautiful. And so I want you to recognize that you span light years, billions of light years back. Your energy, who you are, has been in the making for all of eternity, for all of existence, for all of time. So it may help though to really connect with like the cosmic womb, with the cosmic birth, to get a better understanding of what is your next step here on human earth. I'm going to leave the Ace of Cups here and let's go ahead and get some clarifier cards. We're going to do problem, situation, action for resolution, because if you're showing up here as the Page of Cups, this could be like a new journey for you. So problem, situation, and then action. Ooh. Problem is the King of Swords. Situation is the Eight of Swords. And action. Oh, lovely. All right. We have the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, which I'd love to see when you're talking about family, when you're talking about lineage, when you're talking about memory, especially, and process. Especially if I see the King of Pentacles out, this to me is a big symbol. I mean, the resolution being the King of Pentacles. This is reminding me of this card in my Earth Wisdom deck called the Green Man. And the Green Man is symbolic of the consciousness that nature has, the consciousness of Earth's tapestry, basically. And so first and foremost, I want to say that the King of Pentacles is coming through as the support that you have in this tapestry of life that surrounds you, okay? Regardless of where you are, you have to acknowledge that you are being fed. Your body is being cared for. You also have to acknowledge the intelligence of your body. And it's funny because we also have the King of Swords here. We have so many kings. We have the King of Pentacles, King of Swords, and the King of Cups. So these guys are all trying to work together, but it's clear that these two are working in more harmony than with the King of Swords. And I say that, one, because they share an elemental synergy, which is the feminine element of earth and water. But then also too, because they came out as supportive cards for you. So you are pouring your energy into the King of Cups' area of life, and also the King of Pentacles is presenting himself as the solution here for the problem. Now, the problem here is the Eight of Swords. This is somebody who gets so tangled up in their own thoughts that they are they either go back and forth between just two thoughts or two paradigms, and so they find themselves not being able to move because of this constant back and forth. So they become essentially paralyzed, and that could be the other thing. It's either frantic thought or just paralysis. I've heard a lot of people use this term, and I love it when it comes to the Eight of Swords, is analysis paralysis, because when you're dealing with swords, you're dealing with mind energy. And so the problem here is too much early preparation, too much rationalization, especially if we're dealing with the contrast energy of the Page of Cups, which is where your reading is centered around today. I mean, look at this energy, these four specifically. Look at how this energy is moving and flowing, especially with Dakan here. The message from nature, from spirit here, is to learn how to be more comfortable in the flow. Learn how to be more comfortable being supported by nature, being supported by God, by the sun, by your food, by these things that already have wisdom, that already carry memory, and that know how to best provide for you. Because what's happening... Wait, this is the problem, excuse me. It's problem, action, solution, right? No, problem, situation, solution. Because a problem is an attempt to hold too tightly onto logic, onto rationale, onto, and by logic I mean if A, then B. Okay, so if I do this, then I am guaranteed this outcome. And it's happening in this paradigm that, one, you're not comfortable with, because it's very clear that the situation is leaving you more of a tangled mess than it could be than it should be, really. And so the problem is I would say the power that we're giving to the King of Swords, allowing ourselves to make decisions that are very rational, that are disconnected from the heart, that are not supportive of this more ethereal, watery view. This is about being more in tune with your intuition and finding that truth in your cells, in your body. Now, the other thing I want to say with this too is that there seems to be a sense of duty or responsibility with you in taking this journey, because I see the Emperor, and the Emperor is not somebody who just takes, makes light of things. He has a very serious job, and his job is to rule over his kingdom, his village, whatever it may be. And so this, I feel like, is your sign, your signal that, like, okay, yes, although we do have a very strict, domineering leader here reminding us that this is our duty, you have the really beautiful, gift of having a responsibility that's meant to be playful, that's meant to be light, that's meant to be healing, right? Not everybody's duty needs to be something so hard and stern and tight, like with the King of Swords, right? It doesn't need to be ascetic. It doesn't need to be there's a word that comes up with the King of Swords for me, and it's similar to like the feeling or like the energy of like alcohol. Like it's very dry, and like I know I'm probably thinking of acetate because of the fact that I just thought of the word ascetic, and I don't mean acidic, but I mean like asceticism. Somebody who, like, the King of Swords would be somebody who just fasts and is a breatharian. Like, he doesn't need to indulge himself because he's so serious, and I don't know, there are bigger things to focus on, like such a logical, very skinny person, very fast metabolism, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't need to be like that. You have the gift of the universe basically, and your family saying, your energy, we've paved this path for you to have more of a childlike approach, or a heart open approach to this, because that is what is healing to our lineage, and that's what's going to be healing to your lineage, to your future children if you decide to have them, but also to the people in your community. So again, the King of Pentacles here is going to be our solution to the cold, astringent, that's what it is, to the cold, astringent nature of the King of Swords. Do not worry about this. Do not try to, if it doesn't feel natural to you, because you are smart, you are adept, you are skilled, okay? Don't, just because something, if you feel like you really are not getting something, if you're trying to copy somebody else's paradigm or regime because it worked for them, but it's just not working for you, and you don't know how to make it fit in your body, scrap it. If it's feeling like this, a lot of shoulds and a lot of forced logical paradigms and stuff, it's not for you, my love, okay? We want you to be comfortable, and we want you to know that you are provided for, know that you are extremely gainful, okay? There is a guardian over here that's coming through who is very watchful over you, who makes sure that you always have what you need, okay? And he does like to let you indulge a little bit and let you spend a little bit, but he is somebody who's making sure that you are taken care of. He's not letting you go overboard, but he always knows that she's fine. She always has what she needs, and I'm watching her don't worry, she's fine type of energy. So my loves, this is what I'm seeing for you, and I wish you all the best on this exploration of self, and let this kind of open up this new channel for you, open up this new space for you with the Page of Cups into your art, your exploration. Please know that it is divinely guided, and that you can always call on your spirit guides, your ancestors of the sea, to help you, to be present with you, okay? Look out for rainbows. Those are going to be a nice signal for you, and then also cups and hearts. I love you guys. Bye.